Hi, my name is Janice Kewen. I'm a fitness and sports instructor at CFB Kingston. Today's workshop is going to be on agility training, specifically agility training for hockey. So what are we going to look at today? We are going to go through a brief introduction, discuss what agility is, why we need agility, specifically in hockey, what is unique about agility, the various components of agility, the types of agility, so rehearsal versus reactivity. Then we're going to go through a little more of a practical component, showing an example of a warm-up and some drills. So for the game of hockey, changes in speed and rapid and decisive changes of direction are going to result in a breakaway, scoring opportunity, or a defensive stop, changing the momentum of the game entirely. So agility in sports is related to that change in movement, change in direction in response to a quick stimuli. So we've got quick changes of direction based on where the puck is going, based on another player coming at you, based on you seeing an opening and heading that way to have a breakaway of your own. So it's a constant dynamic situation that requires quick adjustments. And for the most part, speed and agility are not frequently trained. They usually come about as a byproduct of hockey, as opposed to being a focus of the game. So what is agility? So the true definition of agility is the perceptual and cognitive ability to react to a stimuli. So your ability to move quickly and easily on the ice. And it requires highly unique attributes with multiple physical and cognitive qualities. So here we're thinking about a defenseman reacting to an oncoming offensive attack, a movement of the puck in addition to physical ability to be able to change directions. So all this is going to tie in with strength, starting speed, reaction time, and rapid decision-making during the game. So why do athletes need to be agile? So through agility, they'll be able to quickly and easily change directions and while not losing any speed during those chaotic situations of the game. It's such a small surface that they're playing on that they require rapid deceleration and reacceleration in another direction quickly as possible, but without losing any of their speed or momentum. Drills to enhance this agility should include not only reacting to a given cue. So when you're doing training with athletes, you don't want them only just working on reacting to your cues, but also reacting in the opposite direction of the cue so that it increases their reaction and their reactivity to those cues. Why is agility unique? So athletes can train for improving strength, size, fat loss, power, speed, overall conditioning, but still be unable to be as agile as they should be for the unpredictable nature of a hockey game. There was actually a study performed testing the top 10 40-yard sprints, so speed athletes, on their agility capabilities by performing the 20-yard shuttle, the 5-10, 5-3 cone test, and only 1 or 2 out of these 10 made the top 10 in their agility abilities. So what does that mean? It means that general strength, power, and conditioning will help a bit and cross over into agility, but you still need to train the agility aspect of the game itself in order to gain optimal results. So unique to agility as well is that change of direction speed, the ability of the athlete to change direction to a predetermined location in space without losing any of their speed. And this is where the plant phase of the changing of direction is very important, and it's also unique to agility. So it allows the athlete to react and change directions without losing any speed or momentum. So it's going to be incorporating a reactive foot plant being able to maintain their speed as they change direction. So making sure that they're planting their foot properly and in the right direction. So we move on to the components of agility. So we've got perceptual cognitive components, which is the visual scanning, anticipation, pattern recognition, knowledge and experience in the situation, reaction time. So that's going to include being able to see the game and being able to see the ice, knowing the game, knowing where other players are, knowing where your teammates are, knowing where the puck is, being able to see where players are going to be going, having a good outlook on the whole ice, anticipating opposing players, where they're going to be taking the puck, where they're going to be passing the puck, being able to see your own teammates and seeing where they're going to be passing the puck. So pattern recognition as well, keeping a mental note of what systems the opposing team is playing. So you know where they're going to be, when they're going to be there. So you can intercept a pass, so you can stop them from heading out on a breakaway. And general knowledge of the game, knowing how to play it, not just randomly skating around on the ice. And the ability to process all this information and react in a timely fashion. That, as I mentioned in the previous slide, change of direction speed. So important is that body positioning for when you are changing direction. So your foot placement, making sure that it's at 90 degrees to the direction that you want to be going. Stride length is going to be very important in that as well. Body lean, 45-degree body lean in order to accelerate in the direction that you want to be moving. And also your posture. So staying in that athletic stance posture, making sure that you are low to the ground and you've got some good balance and stability as well. So as you can see, that change of direction speed and the body positioning for that change in direction speed are important. However, it should not be the main focus of the agility training. We need to more focus on day-to-day training schedules so that the players know how to react within that gameplay situation instead of everything just being rehearsed and knowing where they should be going or being told where they should be going. They need to be able to react to what is actually going on the ice. So we've got agility as a whole, demands adaptations at the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons. So working on our strength and endurance at a muscular level, as well as working on those reaction drills. Time and practice is going to be required in order to get used to and break in those new agility drills, just as you would with any kind of new equipment. We got to take the time to work on them in order to improve. So what are the different types of agility training? We've got rehearsed drills versus reactive drills. So when it comes down to it, live action hockey stimuli is going to include where the puck is, where your teammates are, where the opposing team players are, where you are on the ice, what plays can you make happen? What plays do you see are going to be happening coming towards you? Is anybody open? Is anybody coming at me? Where can I pass the puck? All those situations on the ice got to be rapidly thinking and rapidly moving as well. So there's a place in training for both rehearsed drills and reactive drills. So we want to make sure that when we're outlining a agility training session that we're including a bit of both. So you're going to try to start off the session with rehearsed drills just to try and improve on those skills, and then moving on after that to more reactive drills so that the players can learn to react on the fly in a more real life situation. We've got to master those movements first: the start, the stop, the turn, the change in direction, decelerating, re-accelerating, and then we're going to work on just reacting. So for rehearsed agility drills, these are your ladder drills, your cone drills, your hurdle drills. So it's being performed in a premeditated and choreographed pattern. The athlete already knows exactly where they need to be, what they need to be doing, where they need to go. and what the end point is. So they don't really need to be making any decisions. They just need to be doing it. So it teaches them proper technique and allows for movement mastery. And within these rehearsed drills, the main focus is on that change of direction speed. So working on that foot plant, working on that body lean, working on that change of direction. So it helps establish context and feel for the athletes. But spending too much time on this kind of movement training is time that is poorly spent, because there's not necessarily time to think like that during the game of hockey, because it is such a quick paced game. So we want to be working more on those reactive agility drills. So reactive drills train to develop the ability, as we said, to react quickly and efficiently to a stimulus while still maintaining a high speed on the ice. So the player needs to be able to understand external cues and sometimes react in the opposite direction of that. These drills can improve an athlete's perception and response times, as they need to be able to react to those real-time cues on the ice during competition. And this kind of reactive drills should be the main focus of agility training, because it helps the athlete to be better prepared for the unpredictable changing hockey game. So some examples of reactive agility drills would include the point and move drill, where you've got the coach pointing in the direction and the player has to go whichever direction the coach is pointing. We've got star drills with the four cone drill, where the player stands in the middle and each cone is numbered and the coach just yells out which direction or which cone they need to be running to. Mirror drills, partner drills, get up and go kind of drills. And we'll go over all that as well after, when we go through our demonstration. So moving on to a little bit of a sample workout, I'm going to go through just laying out how a session can be set up, and then we are going to move on to more practical component where I'll actually demonstrate a sample agility workout. So definitely always start with a warm-up. General movement patterns, examples: arm circles, jumping jacks, skipping rope, jogging, monster walks. Then we're going to move on to some more dynamic stretching, Spider-Man lunges, bird dogs, glute bridges, deep squats. And then on to more activity-specific movements, so shuffles, karaokes, backpedaling, light jogging. Now this is where you can also include some of those ladder drills, the rehearsed agility drills. We can throw some ladder drills in there, some hurdle hops, get them out of the way right at the beginning of the session before moving on to more of those reactive type drills. So sample warm up, we've got our general movements: skipping rope for one movement, heel to butt runs for 10 yards, turn around coming back doing high knees, monster walks down and back, Spider-Man lunge, do some bird dogs, glute bridge with the reach and inchworms. And then we're getting into more of activity specific. So we're going to throw in some of those rehearsed agility drills, shuffles down and back, karaoke's down and back for those 10 yards, A skips and B skips. And then building up some sprints, doing some ladder drills and some hurdle hops. Then we'll get into more rehearsed drills from there. So a little bit more specific and a little bit more elaborate ladder drills. And then adding in our cone drills. Some examples including the 3-6-9 deceleration suicide. So running up to the one cone, backpedaling back, up to a second cone, pausing, then backpedaling back. 3-cone drill, weaving drills around the cones. And some hurdle drills as well. Can do some shuffles over the hurdles, hurdle hops with isometric holds. Some shuffles over those hurdles, 2-foot hops, 1-foot hops, working on balance as well. Then we'll move into more reactive drills. So we've got as you can see in this one picture, we've got the coaches standing there pointing in one direction. So the player needs to shuffle on reaction and move in the direction that the coach is pointing. Down at the bottom, we've got an example of mirror drill. So the partners standing facing each other. In these COVID days, they can stand one back to back if they'd like, or one partner facing one way, the other one facing their back, and the one from behind has to mirror what the other player is doing. So whichever direction the one player moves, the other one has to follow in that same direction. Partner chase drill. One partner's sitting, the other partner is standing behind them running. The person sitting stands up, takes off in the opposite direction running, and the other partner has to try to chase them down. The star drill, 4-cone drill, like I explained earlier, with those 4 cones, each one numbered, and the coach calls out a cone number and they have to move to that cone as quickly as possible and rapid fire of those numbers to get those players moving. So in conclusion, development of agility, change of direction speed, and perceptual cognitive skills requires a highly layered and progressive approach within the agility training. So we've got to make sure that the players are progressively and continually progressing and not just winging it, doing random agility exercises. So making sure that our sessions are structured properly so that there's a good flow and moving from those rehearsed drills into the reactive drills. Those rehearsed drills should not be the main focus. However, we do need to make sure that players have a baseline to move up to the reactive drills from. So they start with those basic movement, rehearsed movement patterns, and then moving on to more reactive work. And hockey players of all ages can be working on agility, right from those little tyke players all the way up into the adult years. It's only going to benefit the player's game, so don't be afraid to work with players of all ages on their agility. All right, so from here we are going to get into an actual practical demonstration of a sample agility hockey workout for you. So I'll just let you know what we're going to be doing, going through that, starting out with our warm-up and those general movements as I outlined up higher. So we've got skipping rope, heel to butt runs, high knee runs, walking toe touches or monster walks. We're going to move into some dynamic stretching with some Spider-Man lunges and inchworms, and then get a little more activity specific, some light jogging, shuffles, karaokes, lateral bounding, sprinting, and backpedaling as we then move into our rehearsed drills. So we've got some few ladder drills. We're going to do some sets of 30 seconds of work to 15 seconds of rest. Then move on to hurdle drills, same kind of plan, 30 seconds of work to 15 seconds of rest. Cone drills, we're going to do 4 of each of these different ones, 4 times through. So going down through the cones, jogging back, going down, so 4 times for each of these. And then working a little bit more with those acceleration and deceleration cone suicides, and then sprinting around the cones. So we're going to do those ones 5 times through with a bit of a rest in between. Then we'll move on to our reactive drills. So this will be our coach and player or partner drills: shuffle on reaction, point and move drill, the mirror drill, partner chase drill, the star drill, 4-cone drill, and the hip turn and sprint drill. So let's head on out and we will go through a demonstration of each of those movements within our workout. All right, so we're here to demonstrate the practical portion of the webinar that I already took you through with the PowerPoint presentation. So I've got James here today helping me out with the demonstration. So we're going to start with our warm-up. So we've got a 20-meter course mapped out here. So he's going to start just with some heel to butt jogging down to the far cone, and then he's going to come back with high knee jogging. High knees, their general movement warm up. And he's Going back with some Frankenstein marches. Bringing opposite hand to opposite toe. Coming out through those hamstrings. And then you're just going to jog it back. We're going to move into some mobility. So we've got plank to Spider-Man lunges with the rotation. He's going to do 5 on each side. Switching sides. And then he's going to move into inchworms. And we've got 3 inchworms. So folding in half, walking those hands out, walking them back, and rolling back up. Good, and then we're going to move into some more activity-specific movements. So he's going to do a light jog down to the far end, then he's going to shuffle back, facing one direction, halfway back, he's going to turn and face the other direction. And we're going to do the same thing with karaoke. He's going to face one direction, so 1 foot in front, switching halfway to face the other direction. Now from the far end, he's going to lateral bound. So he's pushing off the back foot, working those outer hips. Good. A nice jog down to the end again. Coming back a little faster with that speed. And a nice sprint down to the end. And then he's going to backpedal that. So running backwards. Good. And that's our warm-up. So now we're going to move into our ladder drills. All right, for our ladder drills, we're going to start. For this one, it is 30 seconds of work. So just going to continuously back and forth for each individual exercise, and then a 15-second rest. For James today, we're just going to demonstrate, so we're going to do 4 passes, 2 down, 2 back. So we're starting with 1 foot in each hole, just a straight run down, straight run back. So we're working on quick feet here, increasing that foot speed. Next up, he's going to be facing one direction, and we're doing 2 feet in each hole, just going down laterally. Making sure that you're not stepping on the ladder, not tripping yourself up. Quick feet and speed. All right, now he's going 2 feet in the hole, shuffling sideways. Facing straight down the ladder, 2 feet in, 2 feet out. In, out. So we are working here on foot speed and that muscle memory, rehearsing these drills so that the athlete knows exactly what they need to be doing. All right, now we've got 1 in, 1 out. So it's going side to side, all the way down the ladder. Next up is hopscotch. So constant switching up which foot you're hopping on. Good. And now we're doing crossovers facing one direction. So we're going to start with that forward crossover. You want to make sure that your athlete is always facing the same direction so that they're getting to work on individual legs as they're going down and back. And now crossing over backwards. This one's a little more difficult. Got to reach a little farther. And as the athletes practice this a little bit more, it'll obviously get a little easier. That's the whole purpose of the rehearsed agility drills. Good. And those are our ladder drills. We're going to move on to our hurdle drills. All right, so continuing on with our rehearsed agility drills, we have some hurdle drills. So James is going to start out just doing single leg hops, one foot down, then he's going to switch to the other foot back 4 times. Good. And we've got 2 feet. So hopping off both of those feet. Making sure you're really pulling those knees and those heels up. Going to laterally shuffle. It's always facing one direction. We'll have you face that wall over there.
Shuffle or jumps?
Just shuffle. Pulling those knees up. So 2 feet lateral hops, so 2 feet together, hopping all the way down. Good. Now we're just going to use the first 2 hurdles for the next one. And he is doing Heisman, so it's a 1, 2, 3 and a pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. So we're also working a little bit on balance here. Quick feet through the middle, and then sticking that pause at the end. Good. And then just using 1 hurdle, your player is just going to ski jump, hop back and forth. So for each of these drills with the hurdles, just like with the ladder, we're going to do 30 seconds of work back and forth with 15 seconds of rest. If you do have multiple athletes that you're working with at one time, you can use more than 1 ladder. If you have 2 ladders, split up your players between the 2 sets of ladders, 2 sets of hurdles, and you can do 4 cycles through of each exercise. So we're going to move on to our cone drills now. All right, for our first set of cone drills, we've got James is just going to be running back and forth from cone to cone. So we're going on a diagonal, forward, and then he's coming back, doing the same thing. So you're gonna touch down at each cone, so we're not shuffling, we're running. And you're trying, once again, we're working on foot speed and acceleration. So you want to make sure that you're having your athlete be moving as quickly as possible between these cones, back and forth, back and forth. Next up, he's going to be weaving, so he's going to go around the outside of each cone as quickly as possible. One's a little slippery. Now he's going to do all that in reverse, so he's going to be backpedaling and weaving around each of the cones. Yeah, go on. Our next drill is going to work on that acceleration and deceleration. So he's going to be doing suicides between 3 cones. So he's going to sprint to the first cone, pause, stop and pause, backpedal to the back to the first cone. Sprint to the far cone, decelerate, pause, and then backpedal back to the first cone again. All right, yep, that's what I was getting. You want to make sure that your athlete gets used to that stopping and starting again in the opposite direction. And those are our cone drills. We're going to move on now. That wraps up the rehearsed aspect of our agility training. We're going to move now on to our reactive agility training. All right, so we're moving on to our reactive drills. So these drills are the ones that are going to be good for athletes reacting on the fly during the hockey game. So no time to really think. They just have to watch the other players, watch the puck, see where things are going. So the first one we're going to do is going to have me just pointing in a direction that James has to move. So he has to see where I'm pointing, immediately change direction to go in that direction. All right, so we're going to do 30 seconds. For these drills, when you're working with your athletes, I'd like to see 1 minute of work and 30 seconds of rest. I'm just going to be doing 30 seconds for each with James today. All right, good. Let's go back. Always come back to the middle. Good. Next one up, we're going to use these 4 cones over here. Similar to what we just did, I'm going to call out a number. So, this is a 4 here, that would be your 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to make sure that obviously your participant knows the numbers of each cone and always going back to the middle from cone to cone. Okay? And you want to, as you're moving through your minute, make sure that you're speeding up each time so that it's making them react a little faster. Ready? 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, and rest. Good. Next up, we'll go this way. So James is going to, you're going to sit, or not sit, sorry, stand over here. And he's going to face the opposite direction from the way that he is going to run. So I'm going to say left or right. He has to turn in that direction and then sprint down. I'll just go as far as that last one. Okay.
The back
So once again, no, you're going to turn.
Okay.
So when I say, if I say right, you're going to turn to the right and sprint down, and then just walk it back. All right? Left. Right. Right. Left. Right. Good. All right, and our next one, we're actually going to do it together. So this is a mirror drill. So I will move in one direction. We're just going to go side to side kind of thing, and you have to follow me. Ready? And the last one, also partner. James is going to sit back by the black cone, and he is facing me. So when the coach says go, so you're going to be sitting. When the coach says go, this person who's sitting gets up and runs, and the back person just has to chase after them. So whenever go, the coach will say go. Or in this case, we'll just have James decide when he's going to go, and then the back person has to react. Whenever you're ready. Good. So it's just having that back person react to when the front person is leaving, so that they can try to catch up to them. And those are the reactive drills that we'll be finishing off that workout with. So I did put a copy of all of this in the presentation portion at the beginning of the video, but we will add it again at the end for you so that you can use it with your athletes to follow along. All right, so I just wanted to pop back on here and wrap things up for our hockey agility workshop. So you have gotten a chance now to see a demonstration workout for the practical component. So you have a better understanding now of why agility is important for hockey, what the different kinds of agility are that you can be working on within your sessions, or if you're coaching or leading athletes through a session. So you want to make sure that you are warming them up properly, warming yourself up properly with general movement, some dynamic stretching and activity specific movements before moving into your rehearsed agility. So your ladder drills, your hurdle drills, your cone drills, these are the ones that are going to be very important for building up that muscle memory, increasing foot speed before moving on to those reactive type training. So make sure that the athletes do have a good grasp and have been able to progress with their speed on these rehearsed agility skills before really moving on to focusing strictly on reactive agility. So our reactive agility drills were those shuffle on reaction point and drill moves, the partner drill, mirror drill, the star or cone drill where James was moving within those 4 cones, calling out the numbers, the hip turn and sprint drill, and the partner chase drill that we did together. And as with any fitness session that you're doing, especially with military, even general public, make sure that any medical attention is sought out prior to completing a session. If you are doubting at all, if you have any kind of injury or if you sustain an injury during the session, make sure that you get checked out after as well. So thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you'll be able to put these agility moves into practice during your training sessions. And feel free, last week, CFB Baggaville did post a workshop on hockey specific drills and skills training, and CFMWS PSB is putting out more workshops, sport specific workouts and workshops. So please check that out as well on YouTube at CF Morale and Welfare Services, and have a great day.
PSP Kingston, the health and wellness provider for the military community.